and welcome back to my little space on the internet. My name is Lucy and today I'm going to be talking about the waiting list and then the acceptance for the cultural representative program. So if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I'm basically doing the Walt Disney World Cultural Representative program from July for a year, and I'm basically just sharing my experience of the process purely because I know that when I was going through it I love to watch videos of other people and get as much sort of advice and information as I could so I could prepare. So yeah, this is just me basically sharing my experience. In my last video for the final interview I had that in February, and they sort of let us know that positions were for the end of 2018 and beginning of 2019, and they did say that, you know, they had very few places for 2018, so chances are we probably would be put on the waiting list, which was quite good because they kind of pre-warned us, because I mean my experience when I did my other Disney program, which was the cultural exchange program, if you were put on the waiting list, I don't want to say it's a bad thing because you still have a chance because you are what Disney is looking for. However, it was basically only if someone else pulled out that you would then be offered one, whereas with the CRP it's more of a case of this is the waiting list and eventually when dates become available they'll be offered to whoever's next on the waiting list. So if you are put on the waiting list for the CRP, it's not the end of the world, and if you're doing the CEP and you're put on the waiting list, again, it's not the end of the world, because ultimately what the waiting list means is that you do meet all the requirements for Disney. They want to hire you, however they just don't have a position at the moment. It was around about, I'd say, yeah, slightly less than a month after we had our interview, about 5 to 8 people were given places, and this was the 5th of March. About 5 to 8 people from our interview group were given places, so of course they were very excited. I think they went out between like August to November of 2018. However, for the rest of us, which was around about, I'd say 25 or so people, we were put on the waiting list. So basically I'll put an image of what the email's like here if I can, and it basically says that, you know, we want to hire you but we just don't have the places, are you still interested? And what will happen is every month you will get the same email, if Disney is still considering you. I mean, I personally have never heard of anyone just suddenly not getting the email and just being wiped like from the Disney system. I've personally never heard of that. So you just keep replying yes or no until you're just no longer interested or Disney offers you a space, but there's no sort of time scale on when you will actually hear back. So in a way people say like don't put your life on hold for this process. I was just quite fortunate enough that I was, you know, I just graduated, so I was either I could go down this route or I could go and get a graduate job. Like I was at quite a good place in life to then choose to sort of wait a moment for this to come around. So roll on 176 days later, which is nearly 6 months, and on the 28th of August we finally received emails to say that we were given places, which was very exciting. I was at work when I got the email. I was on the shop floor. I had to make sure there were no clients around. I literally jumped on one of my colleagues' backs and was like, I got it, and he was like, what are you on about? Like, get off me. And I explained, I'd already told him previously what I had gone for, so yeah, there was lots of excitement that day. And then I looked to see when I would be going, and I would be starting on the 8th of July, which was 314 days away. Oh my gosh. So it was basically I had to wait about like over half a year to apply and get this far, and then I'm being told that I basically have nearly another year to wait until I can do it. So I was mixed emotions. I was really happy that I was finally offered a place. However, I was a bit like, oh, because I mean when they had said it to us, they said that we were going out early 2019, so you know, I think everyone in their head basically thought, okay, before June, like a June at the absolute latest. And lots of people did get dates for I'd say January, had like 1 or 2, February and March, and then lots of people actually had the 1st of April as a start date, which to be honest I'm quite happy I didn't get because that's my birthday, and I think it would have been really sad if I would have had to have left my family on my birthday. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise that I got the date that I did, and I suppose technically it means that while everyone else has then gone home, I'll still be out there, which will be fun. So I have to look at it in a positive light, and it's nearly 100 days now until I do go out, and this time has flown pretty quickly, so if you are in my position and you do get a really late date, it's not the end of the world. Again, you know, just think of it as a blessing. You'll get to be out there afterwards when everyone else has come home. So once you're accepted, you'll get a couple of emails from both Disney and Yummy Jobs. So the Yummy Jobs one is to say congratulations, please accept on the Yummy Jobs website, and then I think it gives you a couple of weeks to pay for the DBS, and this is basically your background check to make sure that you're not a criminal and that you're safe to work with children in Disney World, which I think if you do already have like a current DBS, you still have to get a new one for this. I can't really remember why. I think maybe because it has to be specific for the length of your program, and they have to make sure that, you know, it's not going to run short, and that, I don't know, maybe it's done by the right people. I'm not too sure, but last time I heard they still had to pay and get a new one. And then your email from Disney will again be saying congratulations, which this will be, I think, the first email that you get is from Disney saying congratulations. And again, on the Disney website you must formally accept the contract. It comes up with a PDF and it says how much you'll be paid per hour, when your start date is, when your finish date is, and what your role is. But yeah, so you accept on there, and then you, to confirm your place, you have to pay the Disney program fees, and I believe this is around about, I think it's around about $300, which roughly was about £286 or 260 something once it was translated into pounds. So depending on whatever the exchange rate is and whatever your bank account is, will depend on that, but I'm pretty sure you have a month to pay that, so it's okay. And what that program fee basically covers is some of your rent. I think it's 1 to 2 weeks. They may have changed it recently, I think. And then of your rent, so you don't have to pay that because that just comes directly out of your Disney paycheck, and you usually have to wait 1 to 2 weeks before you get your first paycheck. So you basically pay like a year in advance in my case for those 2 first weeks of rent. And then it's also like other program fees. So at Disney Housing, they have housing events where there's like food, music, meet and greets, freebies, things like that. So within that, that's sort of what it covers in that first program fee. And then another thing you'll have to do is to sign into your Disney Docs account. So this would have been where you uploaded like your passport and things like that. I think at this stage the only other thing for you to do is to upload an English statement. Now this is something I didn't have to do when I did my CEP in 2017, so I think this is quite a new thing. You basically have to write how you learn English, which if you're applying for the CRP, I'm assuming that, like, I suppose for us, because we are English, like this is our native language, but I suppose like if you was going for the CRP for like the China pavilion or like the Italian pavilion, they basically want to learn, they want to know how you learn English. So for us, I mean, it sounds like common sense, like I learned it from birth I think is basically what I wrote. And then you just have to sign it, take a photo of it, and then upload it to Disney Docs. But of course, as I say, if you are someone and English isn't your native language, then understandably that's how they want to know how you learn English, you know, whether it was in school, whether it was by yourself, how long you've been speaking it. I just literally said I was born in England and I've been speaking English, I think I said since birth, not that I came out of the womb speaking English, but you get the general gist of it. And now here we are just waiting, and we can't do anything else now, so all the paperwork and stuff has been done. I think a couple of weeks before we're due to fly out, that's when we'll be contacted by Disney Dorms and we get to choose our housing, or at least put in our preferences for housing. I'm not too sure where I want to go at the moment. I think I'm leaning towards Vista purely because it's cheap, and I think a lot of places have been like renovated there now, and as well just pure convenience because I don't know how to drive in England, so I'm definitely not going to be having a car in America. So the fact that it is really close to lots of shops and things like that sounds pretty good. So who knows, until that comes around I'm just gonna have to wait and enjoy myself. So if you have any questions or anything, please drop them down below. If you, as I say, are on the waiting list, I hopefully very soon they will contact you with more information and you'll be offered a place. But yeah, and I will see you in next week's video, which I have a very exciting announcement for next week. So make sure that you come back, because let's just say I don't think we're going to be filming in England anymore. Tune back in next week, and on this week's travel vlog is very exciting. It's from when I was in New York and Washington DC for my 21st birthday, so make sure that you check that out because that was a lot of fun. I went with my roommates from university, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye!